Welcome everyone, a pretty well welcome. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are right now. It's very nice to have you here in the Continuous Testing Meetup online edition for obvious reasons. So let's get started. So before moving on, maybe some of you haven't checked that we have a new website, something we mentioned in the previous meetup. So I will show briefly how it looks like here. So this is our website right now that we have ramped up in the last weeks. And this is the place where you can get all the content that has been shared in the meetups, in the previous ones last year, 2018, and also in this year, all the online versions. So you can always go here and check what is coming up next. For example, this is today's meetup. And we have one meetup next week. So whenever you are wondering where the video, the recording for the meetup is, you can just go to an event. For example, last week's meetup from Josh, who is online. So hi, Josh. Also, thank you for being part of this community. You can see the description of the meetup here, and you can see the video of the meetup. Like you can see here, Josh praying that like hopefully the meetup and the presentation goes well. He's a very religious person. I'm just kidding. He looks like he's praying there. But yeah, all the links for our community, you can find them here, our Twitter account, the links for the Berlin and London groups, our GitHub repository where this website is actually hosted and rendered, and our CTM Slack workspace. So whenever you need something from the meetup, you can just head to this place and you will easily find all the resources. One last thing, if you missed last week, like 2 weeks ago, if you missed the webinar from Simon Stewart, here we already put it in YouTube. So a sneak peek at Selenium 4. So I will share this link in the chat. So you can have a look, you can share it with your friends, with the community, and give us any feedback that you might find interesting. Now going back to the presentation, which was a very short intro, I just would like to thank SOS Labs because basically we are having all the resources to do these meetups online and the webinars and etc. thanks to the company. So it's really nice that we have the time to organize these things for you, the community. And today, the main topic of this meetup, the female champions of Rwanda's recent tech scene. We have today Isabelle and Lena, who know everything about this topic, who are going to share with us super interesting stories. And everything started with a conversation I had with Lena in Slack, which where she explained me like a few things about her company. And I truly found that this could be a super interesting story to share with the community. And I don't doubt that you will have a good time. So feel free to write questions in the chat and we will gather them, like Severin is here to moderate all the Q&A. So we will put them together at the end and they will be happily at the end of the presentation to answer any questions you may have. So I think that's all I had to say. And I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. So Lena, you can take the floor and please go ahead with it. And everyone, please have fun and enjoy.
Thank you, Diego.
Thank you, Diego, for this meetup online. I'm so excited about sharing what we have and that how Rwanda looks like now. My name is Isabelle, and I'm a quality assurance tester at Muraho&Betahills. And I'm so excited to share with you today about what we do and how Rwanda tech service look like. But before I start to dive into the talk, I would just like to know who have ever heard about Rwanda or heard about the tech scene in Rwanda. Maybe while you'll be typing your answer in the chat box when we continue, right?
Yeah, so thank you, Isabelle. So while you're writing in the chat, I want to quickly tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Lena, I'm founder of Betahills, which I'm getting into later. And yeah, so 1.5 years ago, I had no idea about Rwanda and what Rwanda looked like now. I mean, I've heard of the genocide that happened in the 90s, but that was a while ago. And I had certainly not heard of that it had developed to one of the leading tech hubs. And through my previous job, my colleague at my previous job has been supporting the Rwandan tech scene for more than 10 years now. And through him, I got introduced to Muraho, which I'm also gonna get into later. So yeah, I guess, can I check the chat? Let me. So, okay, a few of you have heard of Rwanda, and probably not all of you, but that's why we're here. Today we want to change that, and after this talk you will at least be able to tell one little story about Rwanda. So let's dive in. So first we're going to talk about how Rwanda became a leading tech hub. And then we're going to talk about the role of women in Rwanda and how a training program called WeCode is empowering women to take career paths in tech, and how Betahills and Muraho are building bridges to the international market. Then Isabelle is going to tell a little bit about her personal story and how she got into tech, and tell you how we work with clients and what challenges we are facing. So this is Rwanda. It's located in East Africa, surrounded by Uganda, Burundi, Tanzania, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. It has 12.5 million inhabitants and is thereby the most densely populated country on African mainland. So after the genocide, the people of Rwanda had to build up the country from scratch, and they had to look positively into the future. So the government wanted to improve the country's wealth, and for that they established a master plan called Vision 2020. And this plan is being followed since. To execute this master plan, they brought, an ICT ministry was brought into life. And the aim was to transition into a knowledge economy and to build capacities outside of the agricultural sector. Here you can see a picture of Kigali with its beloved convention center that is colorful, with its colorful lights. It's a very clean city, the cleanest city I've seen. I was very impressed when I was there last year. And yeah, let's get back into the ICT sector. So the ICT sector is now among the fastest growing industries in Rwanda, and the number of innovative businesses and startups in the ITC sector increases. And just recently, Sweden's Norsken Foundation, which is a foundation by the Klarna founder, announced they were gonna build an entrepreneurship hub in Kigali with the aim to build the biggest entrepreneurship hub in East Africa. And also a big German company already invested in Rwanda. They, together with a local developer group called Osimity Lab, they built an app called Move, which is an Uber-like app, car sharing app. So besides being known for its focus on ICT, Rwanda is also known for its focus on gender equality. it was actually the first country in the world to have a majority of female members in parliament, and is currently has 61% of female members in parliament. Just for reference, Germany now has 31%. So this strive for gender equity can also be seen in the tech scene. From the Minister of ICT and Innovation to the heads of the two largest tech companies in the country. First one being Clarisse Iribagiza. She's co-founder and CEO of DMM Hey. It's a mobile technology company that develops innovative technologies that enable businesses to optimize their operations and reach their audience faster. And they now have over 2 million users across Africa. And the second one is Faith Keza. She's CEO of Irembo, and they digitize governmental services. And by that, they partnered up with the Rwandan government. And they now have over 97 services online. So for example, you can get birth certifications, marriage licenses, or health insurance services online. So the Rwandan government promotes and fosters entrepreneurship by making it easy to open a business within 24 hours. Now Rwanda is ranked second place in Africa in the ease of doing business by the World Bank. And this support of the government enables initiatives and projects to flourish and be successful. And one lighthouse project that is contributing to the ICT sector is called WeCode, that I want to get into more details now. So what is WeCode? Together with the German Development Corporation, Ministry for Development Corporation, one of its aims has been to support the efforts of Rwanda establishing a QA software testing cluster of excellence in Rwanda, and at the same time to push for a higher representation of women in tech. To do so, the German Development Corporation started a capacity building program called WeCode. And within WeCode, Rwandan women were trained to become world-class software testers. And 2 cohorts were trained so far, each cohort consisting of around 50 women that partly have an ICT background, but it's not mandatory to have. Several success factors were identified. The first one being the combination of local knowledge with top international trainers. Since there are several capacity building institutions in Rwanda that have been working with a great success for several years, their material and experience was used in combination with top international trainers from the US and Canada. So for example, one QA team lead from Microsoft with over 20 years of experience in QA came in and trained the women. And one of the founders of the American Software Testing Qualifications Board came to train the women, and a number of people from the US and Canada from startups that trained the women in agile methods and the like. So the goal is to train them so that they are work ready and work ready for the international market. Another factor was to count on certifications, on international certifications. For that, the ICQB certification was chosen since it's the standardized international recognized certification for quality assurance. And last but not least, another crucial success factor that was leveraged was employing the top testers at an established company with experienced tech leads. And for that, Muraho Technology was found. They are a Canadian Rwandan company with a number of years of experience in software development and quality assurance. And they brought in technical leads from Germany, US, and Canada that all have a number of years of experience in those fields. And the top testers from that training, from that WeCode training, were then hired by Muraho to work with international clients. Here's a picture of the ladies getting their certifications after the training. So when I was joining Muraho, the Muraho team, I immediately saw the big potential that this could have a great impact. And this was a great chance for me to combine my big interest for IT and at the same time to promote equal opportunities, both between genders and between continents. So together with Muraho, I decided to found BetahILLS in Berlin. That is another QA company and as kind of the connection to the European market. So the testers are legally hired by Muraho, but are working both for BetahILLS and Muraho. And BetahILLS and Muraho are working hand in hand when it comes to continuous training, companion and guiding the testers when working with clients. And additionally, our team in Germany, our BetahILLS team, is able to go to be on site with the customers or the clients and understanding the processes and the products better. And for all aspects where a physical presence is beneficial, our team here is able to fulfill that. Also, Rwanda has the same time zone as Germany, which is really great for our Rwandan team to join stand-ups and other meetings. So now let's dive deeper into how we work with clients. And for that, I will hand over to Isabelle, who will first tell you a little bit about her personal journey and about her background and experience.
Thank you, Lena. Thank you again for welcoming on this. So let me tell you a little bit about my story of how I got inspired in tech and then my journey as a woman in tech in Rwanda. Before this started when I was at university, as anyone else, when I started thinking like how the service can be improved by technology, and slowly started get interesting by finding the solution that problem in society. And then that I was much curious to join some courses and programs in ICT, which led me to follow the career in the business IT information technology in the university. And then by doing business information technology, in my head, I was thinking that I want to become a developer, software developer, thinking that I will be developing this software's application to solve those problems in society. But meantime, I've realized that myself, instead of building those softwares, but now I'm starting getting into analyzing them for them. And then at that time, I didn't know about quality assurance, no. I just continued my university, and then after graduated in business information technology, I got the chance to get a job, and the job was in the IT department. But the position was held like a manager. This shows that I didn't get the chance to have the skills in hands like a tech person, apart from just learning from the school. Then the time went, I have changed the job. I joined another company which was non-ICT company at all. But while doing this kind of job, I was not happy with it. I was a little bit like annoying, and then felt like I want really to go back in technology. But I didn't know how to do it because I didn't have the skills. I had the papers, I had everything, but I had no skills. And then lucky enough, I got a friend of mine, she introduced me to a program called Recode, that one earlier Lena was explained about. And then I get interested in it. I applied, I got an opportunity to be part of that program. So when we code, we got trained, of course. And then from afterwards, it was my first time hearing the word like quality assurance. And then referring back to what I was doing in the university, I say, oh, wow, this is the area I belong. I think this is the perfect career now for me. So I'm starting to trace my path career during Recode program. And then the time went, we graduated from Recode and got hired by Muraho because he's the one conducting those trainings in Recode. When I got hired among the top testers, because there's some examination we pass, and then when you pass, you get hired. So that's how I got lucky. And I can say that from that time, I was not expecting to be successful as I am today, because I'm happy with what I'm doing. And then now I can say that I'm very proud to be a woman in tech and so excited to work on the international clients project with the safe environment and the company called Muraho. So this was a little bit of my background of how I was interested in the tech and how I got to know more about the quality assurance testing. So let me dive into and then show you how we work with the clients with Muraho&Betahills. So for Muraho, we usually, each client is assigned to a specific team. This team consists of test engineers, there is a product owner, there is a developer lead, and the project manager. In addition, we also had to add the experienced tech lead, because we have some tech leads, we have more experience, like more than 20 years in this industry. So from this, by that, we guarantee that everyone in the same loop within the team. Thereby, it is easier to scale up in case our clients need a high number of testers on the project without onboarding them at the additional time. This team, we also do this like only one onboarding necessary, and the knowledge gained from that onboarding is co-sourcing within the team with the goal to do not give a overhead for our clients, of course, and to sharing the knowledge within the company. So by doing this team-based approach, we ensure that because we have gotten the broad training received during the Recode program and of the experience of the tech lead, we are able to integrate very, very deeply with the client's processes and adapt easily to their toolings and the communication models. So from this, I can see that we are able to gain insight. We are able to get insight of the number of the best practices, both in quality assurance and also in agile product development. Then we have also something else to do at Muraho. If you can see this picture, it tells everything more. To make sure that we meet the market, the international market needs, we have constantly to increase our skill set. And we take care of ensuring that we are able to deliver the top quality to each client of ours, and making sure that the ratio between the experienced test lead and the junior testers remains healthy within the team. So this is how we work with our clients, because they are on board of each country, wherever, Europe, North America, Berlin, with Lena. And then, of course, as any other company, we have some challenges. So I would like also to share with you some of our challenges we're facing as a tech industry in Rwanda, and then as a tech industry as ladies. So Among those challenges, the first one I may say is most of the company in Rwanda or in any other companies in tech industries, they don't really value quality assurance as something important that can be calculated in their expenses. And this is because they think that quality assurance is not that much value to their business. And they always lay on the unity testing just to be releasing the work. This is the challenge which we are facing. But we believe and we hope, as Rwanda is growing very fast in technology, also this area will be tackled, I believe. So the second challenge I may share with you is regarding the cultural differences, because you know that our clients, they're abroad, they're all over the country, all over the world. So it's very obvious that it's normal there will be intercultural difference. Because we're working with a lot of clients from different countries, it is always something to keep in mind and engage with. It's one of our core things to keep in our mind and work with it. And also, we would say that it's a challenge from which to learn and grow a lot, but also it's a challenge on both sides, the client side and our side, but we benefit from it. Benefit from it a lot. We can learn how to make this stronger communicating within the client and ourselves. And then we have another, I can say that we are a team which is already proved that it's possible to handle this challenge of cultural differences of time zone or whatever, because we have been successful for so many international projects whom we have worked with. So it's no longer a challenge to us, it's a challenge profit and benefit from that. From this, there is another challenge which is regarding the sales. And I would like Lena to tell us about this challenge.
Yes, so thank you, Isabelle. The last challenge is within the process of getting clients. Within this process, of course, I mean, probably a lot of companies, especially small companies, have this challenge. For us, it's that we constantly have to handle like misconceptions of Africa, and then biases of women in tech, and then the combination of both of these. This is because, yeah, a lot of people in Europe, for example, have a different image of Africa. And we can change that or solve that by giving these kind of talks and giving visibility or getting visibility for Rwanda and those women in tech in Rwanda. And yeah, trying to create new images. And yeah, so while we're talking about challenges, let's talk about some learnings from this talk. And this also means we're at the end of our talk. We hope that you now have a better understanding of Rwanda, or a better idea, or at least interested or curious to find out more. And thank you for your attention, and thank you for joining this little journey to Rwanda. So I think now we have some time for some questions.
Yes, thank you very much. So we only had one question from what I can tell. I wrote down a couple myself, but Madina, would you like to ask the question yourself?
Oh, yeah, I can.
Awesome.
I had a couple of questions. First of all, thank you very much for having this great session. I have a question. How many QA members do you have? And how do you learn? So is it some webinar? Is it an expert coming from outside or on-site girls learned sitting together. So this is really interesting. And also, do you have more expertise on Java, or do you also see that the JavaScript automation testing is having more and more impact in today's world? So yeah, those are the questions. Sorry,
Okay.
so many questions.
To your first question, we are, I believe, I don't have the exact number, Isabelle, correct me if I'm wrong, above 25 testers right now.
Yes, we are 25.
And what was the second? Oh yeah, how is the training? So usually through our tech leads that are either in Rwanda or coming to Rwanda for like doing workshops, or doing them from the US or Germany. And but at the same time, our testers are also, like I think a lot of us, watching webinars or using online resources to educate themselves. And the last question, what was the last question? Oh yeah, the automation. So our testers, automation wise, have experience in Selenium with Python, and also start to get into Cypress a little bit more, so JavaScript. And yeah, those are the first tools that they have experience in, but are constantly learning more depending on the projects of the clients. And yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much. Does anyone else have any questions? In the meantime, I will go ahead. I have a couple of more basic questions, I would say. So in the beginning, you were talking about the Vision 2020, and I just want to know, is this something that basically the whole country is behind, or is this more like one political party and that's their thing that they carry forward, and if someone else gets into power, it might look differently?
No, I think
mean, this is not super techie, but I just was interested.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm also not an expert in Rwandan politics, but
yeah.
but it's the whole country. Yeah, to give a very simple answer, they're all striving to build capacities outside of the agricultural sector and develop into a tech hub.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. From what I've heard, you are not trying to be like a regular outsourcing kind of like people factory, right? You're trying to really get to understand the customer and be very specific, like custom tailored. What do you tell people that just say outsourcing isn't worth it? You need managers everywhere, and in the end, the same amount of work gets done for the same cost, basically.
I try to explain to them our approach, our team-based approach, and the close, or our technical leads that have a big part in guiding and companion the testers. So yeah, and that we're continuously training them, and as a vision, of course, at some point, being able to put those peers into those roles and then go from there and train more women to come on board. And yeah.
Is the long-term goal to keep them in the company, or also give them wings and let them fly, basically?
Of course. I mean, if there are, if they have ideas to, I don't know, start their own company, that would be awesome, right?
Cool. Yeah.
I mean, that's our goal, kind of to contribute to this growth in Rwanda. But yeah, whatever they prefer, staying or flying somewhere else.
Awesome. Josh, do you want to ask your question out loud?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. So great presentation. Thank you. I've learned just a bunch from this. Just kind of a general question, because I also am not familiar with Rwanda or Rwanda's tech scene. Like, is there like a particular tech stack that's really popular in Rwanda, or like an area of interest in tech, or like, is it just more general? Like, just, I mean, kind of generally, like what's the tech scene like?
I think it's more general, like different fields. Right, Isabelle? What would you say? I don't know. I would say general. Like if you, I can recommend, there are a lot more interesting projects and collaborations, international collaborations, and also interesting startups in Rwanda. If you just like research a little bit, it's really interesting. So I can totally recommend doing that.
I can add on.
What?
I can add on something, because it's general, because even now there is a plan called Smart Master Plan, I think 2030, to digitalize most of the services we currently have. We are encouraging people, the government is encouraging people to be digitalized. So it's one of the politics in which is going on now. So I may say that is general.
Cool, thank you. That's a good point. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, great.
Very cool. Anyone else got any questions? Otherwise,
I wanted to
go
ask something, if that's okay. Right. So something I found interesting in the challenges is something that we are all aware, and it's how complicated it is to show companies that testing is important. Plus, you can add the biases of like women in Africa, like women in tech in Africa and all this. So how are you tackling these, I guess these challenges in general when you try to approach customers?
That's a hard question to answer.
I guess it's a new presentation, maybe.
Yeah, it is still a challenge. And so I feel like, I mean, yeah, we have similar situations here in Europe as well. I feel like not all of them are like that. There are a lot more companies that realize that it's important to also have a QA team on board. But like in Rwanda, like Isabelle told us, it's a little different. It's not there yet. They don't realize that it's not enough to just do unit testing, which developers are doing, and that's it. I always say it's always good to have someone with a different set of eyes on an application, as like a general, to give them a general idea why this is a better idea, to not let all your developers test their applications. It's like for people that I explain quality assurance software testing to, that are not from the IT field, I always tell them, imagine you're writing your bachelor thesis. You don't, you always give it away for someone else to read and find mistakes. So yeah, this is kind of, but if you have more great ideas how I can tackle this challenge, I'd be happy to exchange some experiences.
I think Serene has a good analogy, no? About that.
Oh yeah, you like my analogy, yeah. I always tell people that like when software development was like this waterfall kind of thing, where you just build a bunch of stuff and then test it once in the end. And if it's broken, it gets really expensive. And I try to give the analogy that that's kind of like brushing your teeth, right? You can either do it very frequently and find small problems and fix them as you go along, or you wait until it's basically too late and then you have to go to the dentist, and in the end it will be more painful and probably more expensive to have to go to the dentist instead of doing regular maintenance and keeping yourself healthy.
Definitely, yes, definitely.
But what you described is basically the same. Like our field in general doesn't have the same, I don't know, prestige as other areas, but it's getting more and more relevant the quicker development cycles get and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I also have a question. Lena, you talk about that we should remember about cultural differences, but what about the differences to work with only female teams or companies and mixed companies? How your client react if you we work only with female teams? Are they have any doubts or everything is fine?
Usually those clients that do want to work with us find it very good, like support that approach. I don't know what other companies think or other people that I'm pitching to. I don't know, I can't look into their heads, but probably those are companies that rather don't want to work with us. And maybe that's also, there's also somewhere, a reason. The reason is that we are only women, but I don't know. Luckily, I haven't had any very uncomfortable conversations about that. So not yet, knock on wood.
Yeah.
I can add on that thing. I've never experienced that, but I think I may have an answer to that. Because if I can get someone to ask me why only women in quality assurance that you have chosen that, I may say there is something that the woman has in them, which is caring. There is a character of caring. And then when you say quality assurance, it means attention to details, means focused. Now imagine a woman who's caring, with the ICT knowledge based, how your quality will be. So it's an added value to that. It's not the real explanation you can give to convince someone, but it's added value too.
That's a very nice answer.
Awesome, yeah. So if you have any other questions, join us in the Slack. We will make a new group for this talk. So if you have anything specific for Isabelle or Lena, just message in there. Otherwise, thank you very much. And I think Diego has a couple of announcements. Awesome talk. Right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So again, thank you, Lena and Isabelle, for taking the time to do the talk. I think it was a very good talk. And as we spoke once, Lena, I think this is just the first of like a couple of talks that we're going to do here. Because there are so many questions like challenges and how do you do this or that, remote working, and et cetera, et cetera. So I think there is potential for you to share more information. And also thank you everyone else for joining. I just want to briefly, before closing this up, I just want to briefly share with you that in 1 week, we're having our next meetup. We're going to talk about the modern performance testing principles. Leandro is going to be talking about it. I met him like around 1 year ago in a conference in the US. Very nice guy, Mexican, so the Latin power is here with us, counting me. So at 3 in the afternoon, 2 hours earlier than today. So we're going to be talking about this. So please take a look at the meetup group. So and yeah, attend if you're interested into that. Aside from that, I don't have more things to share. But yeah, again, thank you to everyone for joining, and special thank you for Lena and Isabelle. It was a really nice presentation. You gave us many different new horizons and interesting things. And that's it for today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you.